What is the devil? Welcome to Philosopher's Corner. I'm John. What is the devil? Well, the standard definition of the devil is the ruler of hell and the embodiment of evil. I think we're all familiar with that. So, what is the devil philosophically? Well, we know that ideas of the devil have been with man ever since humanity's existed. And philosophically, I think it's easy to say that the devil is the most immoral, unethical figure that the human imagination can conjure up. We sort of can imagine if a being who has the discernment between good and bad, between moral and immoral choices, if that being consciously selects the immoral choice every single time with the specific intention of gaining strategic advantage in every situation over every reality, with the intention to control the entire reality and all of its inhabitants in order to foist upon them their version of immoral ethics in a direct attempt to subjugate them to this being's will. And then furthermore, to make them live in an immoral, unethical state, which would infer that this being the most unethical, immoral being available, would be doing so with sadistic intentions, because at some point it stands up to logic and reason that that being would want to construct sociological units that cause the individual's pain, because that would validate this being's set of ethics. Its ethics being all of the worst decisions that could possibly be made, the optimization of evil. So it would seek to construct a sociological environment in which it was the undisputed ruler, and it would be optimizing all of the immoral decisions available and creating the most amount of pain and suffering available, because that would be the intention of the most unethical being in existence. And all of the associated trains of thought and spiritual evolutions that would go along with making the immoral choice every single time, all with the intention of total control and complete subjugation and essentially torture of its population. And without even bringing religion into it, just philosophically speaking, that is a pathology that is open in this material reality. And the history books have borne out that many people have gone down the path of attempting to make immoral decisions and creating sets of ethics based on immorality, and even codified those ethics in various books, and then furthermore disguised the true nature of those books of ethics, presenting them as though they are good when in fact they are in fact bad, in order to subjugate populations for control to one individual. That's happened repeatedly here on Earth. So in that sense, the devil is not merely confined to an unseeable religious figure. In this sense, the devil is a very, very real and consequential figure. And we know how they are constituted. They're constituted through choosing the immoral over the moral and creating an immoral set of ethics, and then obfuscating it many times. Now, there are many organizations who confer their bad ethics and evil ethics to their followers, promising them the benefits of taking the path of immorality and lack of ethics. And it's always, the appeal is mainly individual empowerment at the expense of others, and then a series of justifications, none of which are moral, but all appeal to personal power as to why it's justified to continue to make immoral decisions to gain personal advantage, and furthermore to live a life based on that set of ethics. And at the top of that heap, and if you have on Earth, philosophically, let's say you have millions of these organizations that are all linked by practicing bad ethics, and you link them all together, the leader of all of these, just on Earth alone, would be called the devil. And if you want to take it to deeper, higher levels, any of those types of sociological organizations on any level, in any dimension, in any reality, on any planet, in known creation and unknown creation, if all of those sociological organizations could be connected to one ultimate practitioner of immorality and bad ethics and lead them all, that would be the devil. Now, it seemed just logically that that has to exist, because we know for a fact that lots of people who have discernment decide to do immoral things and live with an immoral set of ethics and congregate with other people who have immoral ethics and follow leaders who espouse evil ethics. That's just here on Earth. And that happens all the time, currently. And so really, when it comes to the idea of the devil, it's a real functional position. It's a sociological position that actually exists and repeatedly exists across cultures, across time, across educational levels. It doesn't matter. So really, when it comes to the discussion of the devil, it's not if the devil exists, it's how many of the devils exist, and is there an ultimate one that they all sort of report to, or that they're connected to somehow. I don't know the answer to that. That's why it's philosophy, because we're inquiring about these things. But we do know that sociological organizations of people who consciously practice immoral choices and bad ethics, usually for personal empowerment, but there's other reasons, do exist. And they exist in mass scale. And they do have leaders. And many of those leaders, because they're practicing bad ethics, do not treat their followers well. They torture them, kill them, sacrifice them, all manner of immoral choice, which is what you would expect if you join an organization who tells you up front that they're immoral and their ethics are evil. So it's on brand. So I think it's a pretty good broad stroke about what is the devil. He's an immoral entity that practices bad ethics, espouses ethics of immorality. They exist on Earth. And they've existed from the beginning of time. And it's a naturally evolving position of sociological utility here in this dimension that has duality. And identifying the fact that it has an evolutionary function doesn't justify the immorality, but it gives the context for it. So that's the devil. Well, I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for spending some time here at Philosopher's Corner, and I hope you have fun.